It's almost been 1 year since the sequel to Breath of the Wild was announced, and we still have no new information other than the original announcement trailer. Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games of all time, so a sequel is incredibly exciting. But there are a lot of changes I would like to see in this new game. Breath of the Wild is an amazing game, but it does have some flaws that I hope will be improved in this new sequel. So today we'll be looking at 10 hopes for the sequel to Breath of the Wild. And here to discuss these hopes with me is fellow YouTuber Seburst.
Hey everybody, I'm Seburst, and I just wanted to start off by thanking Nintendo Hero for giving me the opportunity to discuss this topic with him. I also want to mention that Nintendo Hero and I just uploaded a video together on my channel, so if you want to see that, please head over to my channel after watching this video. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was one of my first Nintendo Switch games that I ever got, and was a blast to play. I can't say that I'm 100% done with the game, because that would be a lie, but I feel like I'm up to date with most of the story. I really enjoy Breath of the Wild, which gives me an even bigger reason to be excited for the sequel. There are a couple things that I hope Nintendo integrates into the game, so hopefully I can go over some of those ideas in this collaboration video.
I want to say thanks to Seburst for joining me in today's video, and without further ado, let's jump right into the list. Number 1. An improved weapons system. One of the biggest complaints people often have about Breath of the Wild is the breakable weapons. And while I agree that weapons breaking was annoying at times, I think overall it worked well for that game. Breaking weapons kept you on your toes, and forced you to try new types of weapons you wouldn't have normally tried. It also created interesting gameplay mechanics like stealing enemy weapons. But while this weapons system worked well for Breath of the Wild, I think the problem would become even worse if it stays the same in this sequel, so I hope they find a way to improve upon this area. There are many different ways to solve this problem. Adding more durability to weapons or giving us an option to repair our favorite swords, shields, and bows. I think there are many creative ways the developers could improve the weapons, and I hope they do something to make the combat even better.
Number 2, a better story. Sure, the story in Breath of the Wild is good. It's just hard to understand unless you've collected all the memories. The problem with making the story good in general is the fact that it is an open-world sandbox game. There is no way for developers to get the player to follow a story like this, without some sort of mission-based structure. So to be honest, I'm not really sure how this will be done. However, I trust the developers will sort that situation out, and if you guys have any ideas of how something like this could work, let us know in the comments.
Number 3. Better side quests. Another area of this game that can be improved are the side quests. The side quests in Breath of the Wild were somewhat lacking in my opinion. They were often short and shallow with disappointing rewards like rupees. There are a few standouts like building up Terry Town or investigating mysteries in Kakariko Village, but for the most part they were underwhelming. I think this new game should have more in-depth and rewarding side quests, similar to the ones found in Majora's Mask. That game had some amazing side quests that were almost just as good as the main story. Giving Link more to do outside of the main story with meaningful characters and great rewards is something that would make this sequel even better.
Number 4, boat exploration. Something I don't remember there being too much of was different islands to explore. I think there should be parts in the game where Link goes to sea for a bit. Kind of something like from Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. I think this would be great to keep players playing the game. It'd be awesome if there were some side islands to explore that contain loot from other Zelda games. I think the boat exploration concept would be extremely fascinating. I can just imagine Link controlling the sails of the boat. Hey, you know what would be cool? Ship-to-ship fights, where Link can jump onto enemy ships and take over. Now that would be awesome.
Number 5. More memorable music. The music in Breath of the Wild is minimalistic and works best as background music for the open world. I think the music works very well in that game, but I did find myself missing the more traditional Zelda music. Loud, adventurous tunes booming in your ear is one of my favorite parts of Zelda, and it was somewhat missing from Breath of the Wild. There are a few exceptions like Hyrule Castle, but for the most part, I think this is another area the sequel can improve upon. Don't get me wrong, the music in Breath of the Wild is fantastic and it works very well. I just hope this new game will make the music more memorable with melodies and songs returning to what they used to be like. I don't think they need to cut the minimalist music entirely, but simply add more tracks that are like Gerudo Valley or Dragon Roost Island. I want to find myself humming the tunes from this sequel.
Number 6, more enemy variety. One of the main things I remember when thinking about Breath of the Wild is the lack of creativity with some of the common enemies. They all feel the same, and that's why I think it'd help if there was a little bit more variety to them. I feel like a lot of the stuff that the common enemies drop are really bad, so I think it'd help if they made some specific enemies harder to fight, but in return drop better loot. It would be a lot more exciting that way. This would give some fights a high risk, high reward feeling, which is definitely something I feel like this game could use a little bit more of.
Number 7. Classic Dungeons. The Divine Beasts in Breath of the Wild are great giant puzzles that are actually a lot of fun to go through, but they all kind of felt the same and didn't really have any distinct themes. One of the best parts of the Zelda series are the dungeons. Each one is usually so unique and uses its theme in clever ways. For example, look at the Forest Temple in Ocarina of Time. It's such a great dungeon with an amazing theme and atmosphere. The abandoned mansion in the forest being slowly overgrown by moss is such a great idea, and makes the dungeon even better. My hope is that the sequel to Breath of the Wild will return to these more classic dungeons, and give each a distinct theme and atmosphere. The shrines in Breath of the Wild also kind of replaced dungeons, but I would rather have multiple dungeons instead. Again, the Divine Beasts and shrines work very well in Breath of the Wild, but I just think it's time to move on and improve.
Number 8, map development. As of now, I'm pretty sure that Nintendo is going to be sticking to the same Hyrule location. This isn't a bad thing at all. I think it'd just be a little bit more fun to explore again if there was a lot more map development. I believe that one of the main contributors to Breath of the Wild's success was letting players explore the massive, beautiful world that the game has to offer. However, if the location is the same, a big part of that appeal is removed. I actually think it'd be really cool if they used the same Hyrule. I just think that they'd have to add some more stuff to make it unique.
Number 9. Intelligent Ganondorf. Ganondorf is one of the best characters in the Zelda series, but sadly he wasn't really in Breath of the Wild. Instead we got Calamity Ganon, who never spoke a word and just kind of attacked you. In the reveal trailer for this game, we see what looks to be a dead Ganondorf coming back to life. It's too early to tell, but I really hope this means Ganondorf is back, and will be the main villain of this game. Not only that, but I hope he's smart and intelligent as well. I think Ganondorf works the best when he is well-spoken and smart. In The Wind Waker, Ganondorf was super intimidating, mostly because of his great dialogue. I just really hope Ganondorf will be smart and cunning in this sequel, and will actually get to talk with Link and Zelda. If that happens, we might get one of the best versions of Ganondorf yet.
Number 10, better bosses. There are quite a few bosses in this game, which I really enjoyed. This is why I would love to see this idea expanded upon in the sequel. I feel like a lot of them were very similar to each other in the way that they all felt like they were the same boss, just a little bit of their moveset and stuff was changed. One of the ways I think they could spice these up is adding some variety. Another is adding a cutscene before each one. I personally believe that the bosses in this game are really good as they are, so all I'm asking for is for them to expand upon what they're already doing.
Well, there you have it. That's 10 hopes for the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Let's hope we get some new information on this game sometime soon. I want to thank Seburst again for being a part of this video, and I'll let him tell you where you can find him.
Thanks again, Nintendo Hero, for giving me this opportunity. My YouTube channel is called Seburst, so if you want to support me, please head over there and subscribe. I hope you guys are excited for Breath of the Wild, as I am, so I hope I see you guys again soon.
Seburst makes some awesome content, and you guys should definitely check out his channel. And if you want to see me and Seburst talk about games we'd like to see come to Switch, make sure to go to his channel and watch his video. I'll link that video and his channel at the end of this video, as well as put the links in the description. That about wraps it up for this one, guys, so I'll see ya in the next one.